there's some Revelator songs that I'm like, man, we got to bring those back. But we've done so many songs and albums. There's like so much to choose from that I guess we don't think about it all the time.
We need to get you a really good slide player in Nashville, and you guys need to cover a Derek Truck song.
You know, he told me Susan wrote the song, which he was proud of. He said that with great pride, you know, the way you say nice things about your family.
From the first note with Tedeschi trucks, they just blow you away.
Yes, we will. I wouldn't argue with anyone that says that could be my favorite song on I Am the Moon.
He, signs my ticket, and I look over at Susan. I say, Susan, would you sign it too? And she goes, oh, heck yeah.
Kevin calls me and was like, hey, man, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. He was like, Derek wants to record some tuba stuff. I said, when do you want to do it? And he was like, let's do it Wednesday.
It's Midnight Harlem. And it caught our attention, man. And we started diving deep, and we're like, okay, we got to see these guys.
What's up? Welcome to the unofficial Tedeschi Trucks podcast. This is episode number 170, and I am Adam Choit. To follow this show, it's at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram. And if you're watching, just search Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on YouTube. If you're there, definitely please subscribe and give the show a like, shares, comments. I definitely appreciate all that. I wanted to share with you guys something new that I just recently launched, a Patreon page for the show. Actually, it's kind of been a long time coming, but I just launched that. It's at patreon.com/TTB podcast, Patreon, patreon.com/TTB. I put out a little video with that. It's on the Patreon page and on the YouTube channel, all that. But basically, I'll go through it quickly, the rewards tiers, as they call them. For $5 a month, I'll give you a shout out and a thank you in every single episode to show my appreciation for your support for the podcast. And at the $10 a month tier, what I've decided to do, along with the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation, as part of the Kofi Burbridge Music Matters Fund, I'm going to donate a portion of that contribution at the $10 a month level to the Kofi Burbridge Music Matters Fund, which is part of the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation, and they help. They actually donate and buy and get instruments into the hands of kids all over the country and schools who are in need of them, and along with promoting music education and all of that as well. And, depending on where things go and where you guys want to take things, ultimately we could take on projects and things like that and sponsor individual schools and push towards very specific goals that we want to achieve. So we'll see where this takes me. And for the $20 a month tier, it's pretty much the same with the shout out, the donation to the cause of Mr. Holland's Opus to support music education, and it will be a slightly higher amount. But on top of that, I'll give you guys an opportunity to steer the show a little bit, and I'll do like a monthly episode, basically whatever topic you want me to cover, anything related to the band, a show they did. People are always discussing all kinds of what covers should they do, what are your favorite covers, any sort of random or obscure TTB topic. I'll definitely make episodes or episode content out of that. So I definitely appreciate you guys, your support, and for checking that out. Patreon.com /TTB podcast. But today I want to talk about the last 4 shows the band did. Where the hell were they? They were in Philly. They were in SPAC, Saratoga Springs, for 2 shows. And they were in Gilford, New Hampshire for a show as well. And now they have a little bit of a break until shows later in the month. But let's bring on Tracy, Daniel, and Sean. Maybe some others are coming as well to talk about the shows. What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Hello.
What's up? All returning guests, veterans.
Thanks for having us on again.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, for sure. Where are we? We'll go in the room and we'll see. Tell me where you are and what show you went to. And we'll start with Philly. Well, let's go start when we get into the shows. We'll talk Philly. But Tracy, why don't you tell me where you are and what shows did you see?
I'm in Connecticut, and I went to SPAC night 2 Saturday night.
And Daniel?
I am in the Philadelphia area, just outside. I live just outside Philadelphia, and I went to their show at the Mann Center.
Gotcha. Phillies and SPAC night too for Tracy. And what about you, Sean?
I was out of this group. I was at SPAC night 1. So and I also did one night, and I was in Bridgeport for 1 and Bethel for 1.
Right, you've been on a little bit of a run yourself. Very cool.
Oh, I've been well behaved, and I blew it all up in the last 2 weeks. So
I get it.
Which night did you do in Hartford, Sean?
It was actually Bridgeport. It's Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater, and I did the first night there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was there for the second night.
Or the second night. Okay. I bought the second night or the first night in SPAC because that was the Green Sky night. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that first night was great. Great set list.
Did you say Green Sky night?
Yeah.
What's Green Sky?
Green Sky was the opener. Green Sky Bluegrass.
Oh, okay, that's right. I thought you meant literally.
No. You had an epic sit-in with Anders Beck from Green Sky Bluegrass on Keep On Growing.
Cool.
Bob in the chat. Bob Ozzie, Big Sean, go Birds. Rooting for the Eagles. Football starts soon. I'm sure we'll see Jags content from the band. I would guess.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Are you an Eagles fan? You don't care about. Are you a football fan? Daniel, you care? Or you're a Philly guy?
No, I always say I follow music like other people follow sports. That's like music.
I make room for all of that. It's been a rough few decades for the Jets, though. But that aside, why don't we get into the Philly show? I got the poster here. It's interesting. I don't know if you got the poster.
I didn't at that show. No.
I started titling the files with the artist's name. So this one is Garrett Moreland.
Cool.
We're getting smart here.
Nice.
It's a cool poster for sure.
Yeah, it really pops, and I love the color. It looks like at first it looked almost like the color of money. It is kind of, and the font is money, but it's more like a stamp. I don't know.
Somebody posted about it in the group that it's a statue they have in the back of the venue, but used to be in the Philadelphia post office or something.
That is, yeah. I also saw that.
Yeah.
So it does look like a stamp.
It's cool.
I wonder if that has something to do with travel.
If I bought every cool poster, it would be a big problem for me. I spend enough money on these shows.
I love everyone sharing on social media and in all the fan groups, all of their living rooms and man caves and woman caves and dens and galleries. That's what you guys really have are galleries of TTB art.
I still only have 3. I'm trying to pace myself. I'm not planning to stop going to shows anytime soon, so I'm trying, pace myself. I want to get like 1 poster a year. You know what I mean? It's like
I'm afraid to look under my bed to see what's going on with one side or not.
Yeah, I've got 3 from the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
I have 2. I got both of them at Hartford.
They had a giveaway, I remember, or a promotion or something. Buy 2 T-shirts, get a poster, or sign up and get a free. There was some kind of like poster promotion, I remember, some time back from the band. So I definitely got one from that. Do you have the set list from Philly by any chance?
Do I have it on hand? I could pull it up. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it off of. I'm sure someone posted it somewhere.
Yeah,
but I got it off. I can get it off of setlist.fm as well. Meanwhile, you tell me. This show wasn't on the archive or anything like that.
Unfortunately not. I don't know. So the last time they played at the Man, for a while there was no recording, but then one popped up, like months later. So I'm hoping the same thing happens with this one. Probably sooner, before months later. But I hopefully
taking their time. I wonder what happened in that person's life since the time they recorded and then they posted it. People got a lot going on.
Well, Ed's in Philly. You should reach out to him, see if he recorded it.
Yeah.
Did he go to that show?
I would assume he did. He doesn't
follow
post
him
much
on Instagram. I didn't see it. I didn't see a post, but
okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Beggars can't be choosers. I am so grateful to all tapers for the work that they do.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, what can I like help from afar? Can I rename files or upload something? What can I do? Like, y'all need to put out tip jars, honestly, or like post your like Venmos and things. I don't know.
For sure. Yeah. No, I've seen people that do that with live streams before. Like buy me a beer. Like put their Venmo in or something. I would. Yeah, but they're the heroes of the scene for sure.
Yeah, most fans are pretty good, I feel like, and treat each other generally well and recognize that huge contribution. Like some of the Mixler live audio is definitely super duper appreciated for sure. I think I got I got the picture of the man. You tell me if I got the right place here. Let's see if this will drag in here. All right. Pull up a picture. Who's got the crickets? It sounds nice. I like it.
That's me.
That's you. I like that. That's fun. There's been a couple of when I remember I interviewed when I did the Bobby. This is me name dropping on a TTB podcast. When I interviewed Bobby Tees, I remember his interview was outdoors, and I think there was some crickets or just like a outdoorsy vibe going on. Is this what it looks like?
Yeah, that's the Man Center.
Yeah, it looks like a barn. I'm not crazy, am I? Am I crazy?
No, it's wood. It's the wooden structure. It gets really hot in the balcony up there. I was on the floor this time, so it was a little bit nicer than last year. It was hot though. But last time they played there too, it was really hot. But good time.
That's cool. Yeah, it's like it's wide, so you get some of that. That's sort of unique for a lot of these theaters. They're not as like wide. It's like maybe it's the shot. Cool spot. They've been there a handful of times. I recognize all the names of all these places that they've been to more than once, just from being a fan.
Yeah, they did in 2023. They did.
That's their spot in Philly now.
Yeah, they did because I think they did a Peach Fest last year, so they skipped 2023, but they're there in 2021. Sorry, 2022.
Yeah, we can pull up the set list here. Don't Let Me Slide, Darling Be Home Soon, Part of Me, Where My Friends Show Me, Sweet and Low, Little by Little, Do I Look Worried, Shame, Joyful Noise, Just Won't Burn, Leaving Trunk, Volunteered Slavery, Midnight in Harlem, Made Up Mind, Sing a Simple Song, I Want to Take You Higher was the encore, The Sly and the Family Stone. I think Mama Dee Radio or whatever. I think she was actually streamed this on her Mixler. So I was able to catch this. I'm like, did I listen to the show? Because they all kind of blend together. The ones that I happen to be catching live, the ones that I'm listening to on archive, ones on YouTube, whatever, one's just the universe is finding me. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I did hear pretty much all of this definitely. I think I jumped in during Darling Be Home Soon, but I'll let Daniel tell me all about the show.
It was just a phenomenal time. I mean, for the openers, seen Little Feat 3 times this year opening for TTB, and they're always a fun time. Margot Price has just grown on me more. I've seen her 3 times, just the last 3 shows. So the whole night was great. I mean, from the beginning with the show, I mean, early on in the set list, Where Are My Friends? I love all of those Mike Madison tunes off of I'm the Moon. And so I was glad to hear that one. Show Me was a song I'd never heard before, that I don't know if that's something that's like a relatively recent addition to their set list. But it was a pretty cool cover. It was fun.
It's usually an encore. Usually
Okay.
used for an encore. But they've been putting it right in the middle of their sets lately. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, like, I haven't been able to re-listen to this show, but from what I heard, it's like it was a really fun, high energy tune. Sweet and Low is, one of my wife's favorite songs, a song I like a lot too. So we were really happy to hear that one. The Do I Look Worried into Shame was something that I saw on other set lists that they were like jamming those two together, and I was really hoping to catch it. This was, the last of the 3 shows that I was doing this summer, so I was really happy to hear them play it, and I think it was one of my favorite things
It really
I've
flows.
ever heard them do.
Yeah, it really flows well together, almost to the point it seemed like, why haven't they put those two together before? Just the way the drums and the guitars just really is seamless, the way those two songs are, like, go together.
Yeah. Man, it's just like pure TTB, and it's like 2 power jams put together, and just they play it like I absolutely loved it. Shame was actually the first song I ever heard from them, and it was at Lock-In Music Festival in 2018. I was there to see Dead and Company. I had heard of Tedeschi Trucks before, but my wife and I think we too much time in the sun, and we took a nap before before the show. So we missed most of their set, but we got there at the end, and they just blew us both away. We were like, wow. So it was the first time I ever did this with a band, but I've done it with several bands since then, where I make a point, especially if I go to a music festival, I make a point of not looking them up because I want to see them live to get a first impression. And TTB was the first band I did that with, and I think that's it's the best way to be introduced to new music, because as we were standing there watching them, and Shame is such a high energy, just fun song. We were just like, wow, what is this band? So, and here we are now. They've been our favorite band for a few years now.
I think I remember the first time I ever heard Shame, and I'm pretty sure it was this YouTube video that came out in 2017, 6/8/2017, Merriam Theater, and also in Philadelphia. I'm scanning 2017 right now. I don't know I think that might be the first earliest released version of that song. I don't know if that's the first time they played it live ever, but that's the first time I heard anything of it. Probably.
Yeah, it's pretty early because Signs didn't come out till 2019.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's the first one they started playing live from that album. But just looking at this set list again, it's what always jumps out at me is the things that they kind of slip in there occasionally, or bring it into the fold. The Darlin' Be Home Soon, the Where Are My Friends. You only get one set of every 6 or 7 shows probably. Joyful Noise they haven't played in a long. They've only played
any of those Derek Trucks band songs, and I don't think I'd ever heard that one live before either. I only know it from his studio work, so that was a fun one.
Yeah, no, they've only played. I think they've played it this year, but not many. And if so, it was pretty early in the year. What is it?
Yeah.
August? What month? September? What month are we in now? What year is this?
September.
But yeah.
You got a Midnight and a Made Up Mind to close out the sets. I think those two they've been putting those together a handful of times over the years. It's just kind of quintessential TTB. The slower song and the real chill ending to Midnight, and then reminding you that, hey, we're a rock band, and bringing it back up to either, Made Up Mind's closed shows, closed sets.
Sure. Yeah, that's another really fun one. That's actually what my wife was saying is her favorite song. That's it. Well, Midnight in Harlem too is also one that I always think I'm gonna get tired of, but I just never do. Every time I see them perform Midnight in Harlem live, there's something about that song that just feels sacred to me.
Totally well said, and I agree.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and I'm nutty, and what I've been doing I'm sure some people have seen when I live stream. Basically, I point my phone at YouTube and I live stream that on Instagram, and I play live videos to avoid copyright or whatever, because the algorithm's only going to catch really studio recordings. And I'm VJing, DJing essentially, and I'm going for the deep cuts, but I'm still playing Midnight in Harlem. It's like I'm gonna play this version of Midnight in Harlem straight through from the intro to the sax intros to the whatever teases we get in there to the very end, because it's just like they're all snowflakes and individual and their own. Every Midnight in Harlem is its own or living organism, living.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? The term? I don't know.
It's different every time, you know,
Right.
and it's like, and everyone, I don't know, you know, for me, and it's like a big thing with the jam bands in general, but I always feel like the music is with improvisational music, you know, it's like guided meditation, you know, and it's maybe not on every song, but like that's why I would say that it Midnight in Harlem is certainly a song like that for me. It's like that song takes me to a different place every time, and you know,
it's sacred on so many levels. I mean, just musically, by the way, you know, just the sounds and scientifically what it's doing to us musically and how it makes us feel, so to speak. But also, I think to the band and to us, the fans, of course, because of it's such a Kofi influenced song, and still and an early TTB song on their debut album, and Mike has such a big hand in it as the songwriter, the songwriter of the song and all that. So it's just so many TTB elements, from the Susan vocal, which she's done with the song, and obviously Derek's guitar, and just so many iconic, at least in our world.
Yeah.
Things. I should do a whole episode based on that, but it's just on that song. Like, it's become to the point where like I'm gonna have to do a whole episode just talking about one goddamn song. Like, that'll be the episode, just like doing a deep dive. Oh, here's the different versions. Remember they did the sax solo here. Remember the Miles Davis tease and the Little Marthas and whatever Derek's up to. I'll try to keep the train moving along, but what else we got about Philly? I mean, whatever experience. The crowd was good and all that stuff.
Yeah, they did this for the songs too. They did the Sly medley 2 shows in a row because they did it at Bethel just a few days before. So I guess they've really been enjoying that one. But it's fun. I mean, always a fun time. And they do it too, where they bring up like Little Feat and Margo Price band. So it's like like 30 people on stage. They did that twice.
Well, I'm just saying, what are some encore songs that TTB? Tracy, maybe because you've been following a long time, but what are some encore songs that they haven't done in a long time that like were ones that were sort of in the rotation? The only thing I could think of, at least on the top. What's that?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say with a little help from my friends, they have done that a handful of times, but not in a long time. Trying to think what else.
That was the one I was thinking of, and I thought that would have been one we would have heard with a big crew out on the road. So,
right, that's a big crew song.
Yeah.
That Mad Dogs vibe.
Space Captain is another one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. They're bringing them all into the fold. They have the Sly one. They're playing that. Space Captain they've been playing. Other songs they've thrown into their set, the Show Me and
they had a Leon Russell song in
Stranger in Strangeland.
Yeah, that was a fun one in Hartford. Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to think what else.
Bridgeport.
Gilded Splinters is again is a song that's all over. Appears anywhere in the set. Bob Ozzie in the chat, the jams with Little Feat were epic. Yeah, Little Feat is fun. I saw them 3 times too on the on the West Coast shows. Cool. And the crowd was good and all that in Philly and.
Yeah. No, I mean, it wasn't the rowdiest crowd, I'd say, but it was a good time. It was hot, it was humid. Like, it was definitely and like I said, it was the same thing in 2022 when they played there. It's like 2 shows in a row. I was happy we weren't up in the balcony because the heat just gets trapped up there at the Mann Center. Yeah. But no, it was a great time. We had a really, really fun time. We were there with my in-laws, my wife's parents were there with us.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Nice. I'm pulling up the SPAC back stuff. I should have the sets for that one here and all that. Let me pull up that. Is this spec? Is this what it looks like?
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like.
You definitely don't want to sit there.
No.
What is this, a moat? This is the outside.
No, there's a balcony, and you get to the balcony from those bridges.
I see. Yep. This is the stage right here.
Yes, and if you're not on the lower third of the lawn, you can't see the stage. You watch it on TV. If I can't get tickets inside, I don't go. Let's put it that way.
Same.
For me, I guess it would depend on who you're seeing, what you're seeing, the price, and the expectation. Because I could see this being a fun vibe, just hanging out, like, you know.
Oh, like for the Dead, for a million years, you know, people
Same
could be a mile away from the stage and just dance on the field where it levels off. But you know,
sure,
a lot of people have done that over the years. But I was miserable the last time I got trapped on the upper lawn. So I'm not interested in doing it again.
What happened here? Making the whole thing crooked. Anyway, I'll pull up the set list for that one. That one started with that was anyhow, right?
Yeah.
I think I lost that, but let me get that back up here.
Sorry, I just cut out for a second. You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Where's my anyhow set list?
Anyhow's always a good opener.
Yeah, I'll read that out in a second. Yeah, we got a break now for a few weeks, TTB.
Yeah.
I know. What are we gonna do?
Listen to all these recordings. Anything we could find.
God bless the tapers. Yeah.
God bless you, man. You too. You, Sean and Daniel, and your content that you guys have posted on your YouTube channels.
I bought a new camera, so
yeah.
Yay!
What's that?
I try to get a few of them. You know, just a few songs every show.
Yeah. No, that's good. I don't know. I don't like to watch a lot of like Facebook clips. I always assume they're short. They're not going to be the full song. It's like, it's almost like they're more for like our records are like, oh, let me get this for my thing. But like if you post like the full song on YouTube, I'm gonna click on that. Yeah. And you can see that it's this is this length. It's it's more user friendly.
Yeah, especially because there's a handful of shows now been to where there's just nobody that recorded the whole thing, so it's nice to have some, even if it's just a couple of videos, but it's full songs.
For sure. Anyhow, I've got a feeling, circles around the sun. Let me get by, tangled up in blue. Do I look worried? I feel so bad. Smoke ring halo. I want more. Beck's Bolero. Walk on Gilded Splinters. Keep on growing. That did it. Bound for Glory. And an encore of Don't Think Twice with Margot. And Let's Go Get Stoned with Margot and her band, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Cool.
You were there, Sean?
I was. There's plenty of videos there on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, what's your channel again?
It's just Sean Roche, I believe. So.
Sean Roche. Search Sean Roche Tedeschi Trucks.
Yeah, and you'll be there a while. So.
Yep.
And I think I got the very first Shane at the Beacon, and I want to say it was 16 or 17. So, because it was all.
Yeah, first Beacon Shane. Yeah, because they were playing that in the fall.
Yeah, it was totally different. I
gotta go back and check that out.
Yeah. So, but.
Nope, there he goes. We lost him.
Oh wow, I'm looking at his YouTube channel. He does have a lot.
He has a lot, yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's
Share a lot of his stuff.
at 33S Roche,
Yeah.
Roche.
Cool.
Yeah, it's easy to find. I'll start talking about this set list, like, because this one was someone did put this one on the archive, I think.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, I
But
listened to the Tangled Up in Blue. Somebody did upload this one. Yeah.
yeah, the Tangle Up in Blue. Let's start with that. Because Gabe. First of all, Gabe Dixon and his band have been doing that song for I don't know how long, but for some period of time,
Yeah.
they played that. You hear me all right, Sean? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so I've seen Gabe Dixon band do Tangle Up in Blue and heard him play it and seen it on YouTube and all that. So I feel like they did the song sort of in the Gabe Dixon style, and he sang the first verse.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see. What did you think when they went into, if you can hear Sean, when they went into Tangled Up in Blue? I don't know if he's there or not, or you can react to it because you heard it on the recording too, Daniel.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I enjoyed it a lot, especially with them trading the verses and everything. And that's that's a big Jerry Garcia cover that he did a lot too. So it's one that I've listened to a lot for years. A little bit different with TTB, of course, with multiple vocalists and with just different style. But I enjoyed it a lot. And it was a cool version.
Is that more of the style Tedeschi Trucks band and or even Gabe Dixon is going for? Is the Jerry Garcia? I'm not actually familiar with or at least not at the top of my head.
It's hard to say. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say that their version sounds too similar to Jerry. I mean, obviously it's different than the version on Blood on the Tracks, right? But it's because it's more instrumental and they jam a little bit more. But no, I would say it's because with the different vocalists, taking verses and stuff, it definitely was like a nice change of pace. A song I'm very familiar with, but with my favorite band playing it, in a way I hadn't ever heard it before. It was a lot. It's a really fun cover.
Yeah, and this is the only time they didn't play it in any of the next ensuing shows or whatever.
No, I don't think so. It was the first time they played it, right? Yeah, I think I heard that. Read some people saying that.
There he is. We got you back here.
I think so. I got a phone call in the middle of all that.
Oh, no worries.
So.
You're black again, if you can hear you, that's fine.
I'm just trying to get my earphones working again. Hang on.
I got you. It's all good. But yeah, that's cool that we got that. You think we'll get more of that, Tracy, Daniel? Think we'll get Tangled Up in Blue again from the band, or?
Oh man, I hope so.
I hope so. Yeah, I'd love to get that.
Probably why I'll end up actually going to that Capitol Theater show. Okay.
I feel like it was awesome, and I've listened to it 1,000 times since it was put out there. But I think that it's almost like they have some room to grow into the song a little bit. There's a lot of words, so I think
it's definitely not a Dylan cover. It's a Jerry Garcia band cover, personally.
Yeah. Right.
I loved it. That's like my favorite Dylan song. And I love the Jerry version, and they really kind of captured the it had much more of a groove than Dylan did. I was blown away by it. So,
had you seen Gabe Dixon or heard Gabe do Tangled Up in Blue before, Sean?
No.
That's worth checking out because that's because I was saying that's what it sounded like to me that TTB was doing a Gabe's version, but adding their own vocalist. Mike's vocal was pretty unique on this as well. Sometimes you hear him sing and I don't know who that is. I'm like, who is that? Because he has such range and
he does
styles and makes these bold choices and can So it's like, who is that? Is that? But super good stuff all around. Yeah, this is a stellar set list. Circles into Let Me Get By is interesting.
Yeah.
I think they've done that maybe a couple of times.
It was really good.
What's that?
it was really, it was all really good. It was, I thought it was a great mix of the old stuff and the new stuff. And Bethel was really like an old style show. There wasn't a lot of new. I was with my buddy, and he was commenting on that.
I'm other than circles. You're right, from I Am the Moon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as we've been saying in the podcast that they, have been not phasing out the I Am the Moon, but definitely playing less of it, not prioritizing it in the set list. But yeah, there weren't like too many or really anything totally surprising in this show other than the Tangled Up in Blue debuting and a new cover where that had the entire band featured. I'm sure that was all 12 up there for that.
No, it was. And then the other standout for me was the Tangled Up in Blue, and the other one was the Keep on Growing with Anders Beck. I mean, he's incredible. And I said to my buddy before the show started, I'd love like the Jerry Douglas Little Martha with Anders Beck that they did in Nashville a couple of years ago. And then I never saw Keep on Growing coming for the Anders Beck sit-in. So that was cool.
What instrument does Anders Beck play?
It's a dobro.
Huh.
It's like a slide guitar.
It's like a lap guitar? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
You have a video of that on your channel, Sean.
It's up.
Yeah.
So,
I'll be watching all these when
the Tangled Up in Blue is the one that's kind of blown up. The other one hasn't really blown up, but they're both excellent. So
yeah, Sean, I just subscribed to your channel, and thanks for all these videos. You got a lot of good stuff here.
You gotta check out his channel too, and vice versa.
I will definitely do that. Some. Yeah, no, I've got I guess I've been in October. It'll be 10 years I've been seeing them. So, and I just found them surfing Netflix one night. The Crossroads Guitar Festival came on. And I told Adam this on the first interview. It was Kofi that grabbed me, not Derek initially. And then
the Midnight in Harlem, organ.
The organ, that organ riff is just, it draws you in, never to be released.
It's true.
Yeah,
I think about that, and I cite that because a handful of people have mentioned, and I recall you saying it, Sean, that Eric Clapton Crossroads, and whether you were there in person or whether you saw it on YouTube or bought a DVD, that's a lot of people's TTB origin story.
It was. I was in my Grateful Dead bubble, and I wasn't coming out of it. And I got a brand new pair of desktop speakers. And I hooked them up, and what can I watch? So I popped that Netflix up with the with that, and it started playing. I was laying in my bed, pointing at my screen, and I literally sat up and went, "Who the hell is that?"
Nice.
Cool.
So,
it's funny you say that because I was in like a deep Grateful Dead bubble for a few years before TTB.
Well, all the Allman Brother fans laugh at me because I tell them that I did finally see the Allman Brothers. I saw them twice on the last tour, twice on the last tour. So I saw the Mule and I saw TTB before I saw the Allman Brothers. A lot of people think that's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
I like it. However you get there, you got there.
Yeah, no, and I was very lucky. I was very lucky that I didn't miss, seeing Greg and the brothers.
Yeah. Well, I did miss that, but my story is a little bit similar, and basically kind of like discovering TTB and then going back and diving more into all things Allman Brothers and Derek Trucks band and Susan Tedeschi solo stuff. I mean, I always say how I knew of the Allman Brothers and knew all their hits and things like that, but I never really went through my phase, where I'm like, okay, I'm a nut, like where I'll be like, well, maybe I should get a mushroom tattoo also. Like now that's kind of like where we are. That's not totally off the table.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I saw Warren with I guess it was when they were touring as the Dead, and he opened the show solo acoustic, and he was incredible. And I ended up buying the Mule, a live CD of the Mule, and I listened to it twice and went, "Oh, this is way too hard for me," and I put it away. And then you come back and you revisit it 12 years later, and you're like, "Oh, what was I thinking?" You know. And I missed so much good stuff by putting that to the side. I should have wrote it a little longer.
But that's how isn't that just how life is? Things find you when they find you and take you when they take you. Maybe you weren't ready for it.
I obviously was not ready for it.
For what? Yeah, sometimes there's just like no explanation for certain things. Like, oh, I should have done this, and this, but you weren't you, and other things weren't other things.
Yeah,
the universe trying to figure it out.
I'm like mad at myself for missing the Derek Trucks band and for missing Alan Woody with the Mule, and I should have seen all that, and I didn't.
Oh, I totally fucked up. Yeah, because I'm in the same age as Derek, so I could have seen him many more times. Over the years. Like, he probably came to Syracuse when I was at college there and stuff. And I remember some people like the name being mentioned, but I just wasn't really in my. I don't know. Yeah. Again, you discover it when you discover it.
Yeah, and they were probably all over the island in the summers and everything else. So So
yeah,
it is what it is. So
the best show ever is always the next one.
Yes.
Yes. Big believer in that philosophy.
I got to work for the Capitol shows. I do have a ticket for sale if anybody wants to reach out to me. So.
But you know what? Even if you miss the Allman Brothers, Derek Trucks band, Susan Tedeschi's solo career, you still kind of get all of those elements within a Tedeschi Trucks band show. And within really almost every single one, just based on the set list, you're going to get your Susan moment, your usually an Allman Brothers song, a classic blues song, a BB King, whatever it is. Like, you're gonna get, Derek Trucks band influence thing, and they have so much stuff they got to do. They got to add in like teases now. They just can't even play all their material.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that brothers chord at the end of the song on a lot of the covers, and it just makes me laugh. So. It's just a certain sound with the two guitars harmonizing, just like a signature. It's a signature. So, and it's the Allman Brothers, the signature.
I've always loved that sound in classic rock and blues and rock music. The two guitar, the rhythm and the lead, or the kind of like doing in between the weaving, and you get a lot of those sounds in the Rolling Stones over the years too, for sure.
Yeah,
we should look at the posters. I figured I'd pull those up because these are insane. Zeb Love, I didn't even notice the raccoon here. These are super colorful.
I bought that one.
This is the one this is the show you went to.
Yeah.
Not describing this well I don't even know how to describe this for audio listeners. Watch the video if you're
a raceway.
Well, everything in Saratoga, whether it's the Dead or TTB, everybody's got horses on their posters.
Yeah.
Right, makes sense. Loving all the animal imagery in all these posters lately.
Very nature-like. A lot of them. Yeah, loving it.
It's got to be a museum where they're all displayed. It would be like, who can do that? Zac Transport. He's the unofficial archivist. How many square feet? If you put all the TTB posters throughout their entire existence together, how many square feet is that? And how much wall space do we need?
I gotta show you my closet. So, all the tubes.
I didn't know you were going to say that sentence, but let's do it.
No, it's when I die, I told all the nieces and nephews. I said, "This is where all the posters are, and some of them are probably worth nothing, and some of them are probably worth a lot of money." So you guys have your battle royale when I go. So.
Yeah,
I've already got them prepped.
Are you going to take us to? You're literally going to show us your
No,
closet?
I no, it's a mess, so I'm not going to do that. But
next
I
time
might
in the future, send me a picture or something.
Okay.
Well, if you should just post it on your Instagram, and I'll definitely reshare that or whatever.
All right.
That's fine. I was ready to like give you the whole solo layout and full screen.
Well, it's not just TTB. It's a lot of Dead too. A lot of Bill Lesh and a lot of.
That's a lot of posters.
Yeah, I have the 3 Mash Tape posters from Chicago in 2015, and I had those framed, and I had the ticket stub inlaid into the poster.
I love Mash Tape stuff. He's great.
Yeah, I do too. I wish he would do a TTB poster.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't. Now that you mention it, I'm surprised he's never worked with them, because it's not like he's big with all the different Dead bands, but he does other stuff too. I know.
I'd love to see an alligator take as opposed to the turtle take. So
yeah. That, oh man, there's some shows where wasn't there a show recently where Susan played alligator, Jerry's guitar?
Yeah, on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think in the Bay Area.
Yeah, it'd be cool. And they've been doing Mr. Charlie this year, although I guess they haven't done that recently. But
they did it a couple of shows ago.
Oh,
I saw it on a set list somewhere.
Oh, cool.
I think it's on unless somebody botched the track listing. I definitely saw it, but cool. I can share some more pictures from this, or let's get into night 2.
Sure,
we can do that from SPAC. Let's see. Sarah's the High and Mighty, starting with High and Mighty.
Man, Brandon in that, I love the bass line. That was a great opener.
He's awesome.
I love that song. That's that's a fun
that was a great opener.
And Adam, last time I think you were saying that they hadn't played it much this year, but I thought they just recently they did it in Bethel Woods, and they've done it. They've done a bunch of shows. They've done it a couple of shows in a
Yeah, it's creeping back in there.
Yeah.
It's creeping back into the set list.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Oh, and I guess for the Deuces Wild for this it was Bob Dylan, but a couple of different Bob Dylan songs, new debuts. That's Meet Me in the Morning.
Yeah,
covered up, which was very cool. It sounded like the intro. It sounded like that other Tedeschi Trucks song that Mike sings. Do you know which one I'm talking about? At the top of my head. It's one of the ones Mike has the lead on, but the guitar and sort of the drums do sound similar. And I thought that they were going into that one. Someone will know in the chat or whatever or in the comments, but it was cool. Now again, they were trading the verses on this, right?
Yeah, they were. It was great. I really liked that. And after, I like Hear My Dear. Ain't That Something's always fun. That to me has a little bit of a Scrap-O-Matic vibe, and I like Scrap-O-Matic a lot.
Yeah.
That's a fun tune. 1999.
I love that cover.
Solo in 1999. We probably talked about this last time because I heard that they played that in Bridgeport. Yep. Definitely one of my favorites now. It's I think someone used the word sultry. The way Mike said it, it's very sultry. It's a mood, it's a vibe. Yeah.
Mike specializes in being atmospheric, but without losing your attention or melody or harmony or soulfulness.
Yeah.
But there's also that element of like, oh, we're taking you to a unique feel that's sort of a departure from, like, not a departure, but it's his own element into what Tedeschi Trucks Band is. You know, it's like a quirky, atmospheric aspect to a lot of his songs.
I mean, they bluesed it all up. I'm sitting there listening to the lyrics going, is that what I think it is?
Bluesy.
And that was cool too.
Sultry blues.
Yeah, the people in front of us were, I would call, casual fans, And watching them all try to figure out what song it was when they first started was really cool. And then when they realized that that's what it was, the sheer joy on their faces, that was a really cool moment.
Well, I looked it up after. I was shocked when I heard the Prince version.
Yeah.
Well, it's on my channel.
I can dig some Prince stuff. You know, it's like he was a virtuoso guitar player and stuff, but like
musician,
I forgot.
yeah.
I was like, oh, this is like straight is pop. But it is a badass cover. I really like it a lot.
They're crushing it. It's definitely one of my favorites in rotation right now for sure. Actually, that whole set list right there, Idle Wind, of course, is stellar. Everything about that for me, and everyone I hear, it's one of my favorites now.
Yeah, it's great to hear again because that kind of I think that was a little hard for them when they lost Kofi.
Yeah,
and they're playing it with this version also, and this whole year tour it's been pretty much with Kebby playing the flute.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. He did a great job.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I like what he's bringing to that. Like I've mentioned how first they kind of, what did they do? They tried and played a little like organ solo where the flute goes, and then they kind of like left like a space in there where the flute was, and that kind of seemed like a tribute. But now it's like enough time has passed, so it's not like cheapening.
They're doing
tribute.
Yeah, they're doing the intro with the flute, and Gabe's playing a piano solo where in the middle of the song flute solo was, and it's awesome, and it's always been a great song for them. So
it's definitely one of my favorites. Definitely, like we get some of the best guitar work from Derek on Idle Wind all the time.
That's his vehicle.
Yeah,
that was the jam vehicle. That was the Passequin before Passequin.
They've been playing those both together. I mean, or they have, but I was gonna say to get the Dreams and Idle Wind in the same show, like those are just two epic.
And that Dreams. Well, first, I don't want to skip over It Ain't Fair for sure because Alicia and that.
Oh, we can jump around.
That's like, oh yeah, we can do that too. It's like soul moving. It was really great, and to have that in between the Idle Wind and the Dreams. I liked that.
I don't know if people can see, but I was showing the tapers. JT/NY, Bill Goldberg, Adam Z had looks like they had SPAC up on the archive, and then a couple of those guys also had Friday night. So thank you. Yeah, I've listened to most of this show a handful of times in the last few days. Like I heard the entire show, but I've the 99 and the Meet Me in the Morning, of course. It's kind of like. I sometimes I don't know. Listen to the whole show. Go back to the beginning. Listen to the whole show. Go back to the beginning. Listen to the whole show. Go back. I jump around, and sometimes I'm in the mood. I'm like, we're in an It Ain't Fair into Dreams mood right now. Let's do that.
I'm glad that they really stuck it around.
It's almost like the. What's that?
Sorry, I was just saying. I was glad that they've kept that one like really consistently in the set list this year because it's new. I mean, they just started playing It Ain't Fair this year.
Yeah,
and it's a really great one,
And I like how and I love how they've been pairing that up with the Dreams. It just goes like perfectly. That's its own like mood and atmosphere and unto itself. So sometimes like I'll only have a certain amount of time before I have to go do something else and can't listen to music because life. So I'm like, oh, I have 14 and a half minutes or I have 17 minutes. That's an It Ain't Fair in a Dreams. I think we can squeeze that in, and my mood is also like we're in that kind of a mood right now too.
Yeah,
I mean the music you hear and then it just takes you wherever you're gonna go anyway, even if you're not in a particular mood for a certain song. But stellar stuff all around.
Bye, Med again.
We didn't get the Sly medley because during Margot's set, we lost power. The stage lost power.
Oh, wow.
So she lost some time, and then she actually came out into the crowd, like on the outer monitor, to start singing to people. Because it was a little bit of time. So she ended up coming back on. I think she did another song or two, and then we had a break. I'll be back. I'm coming. And then,
It's
sorry
all
about
good.
that. And then they had a little quick break, and then they made an announcement that they were gonna put the show on Generator or something like that. I was kind of walking back into the venue at that point, so we lost a little bit of time there. So I think in that whole losing power thing, which was a really cool moment in the show, but we lost a little bit of time for it, so we didn't get the Sly medley. It was just Stranger in a Strange Land, which was spectacular because everyone came out on stage.
Yeah.
And there's such high energy in that. They have such a great. They had such a great time with Margot's band. It shined through every performance that I saw.
Yeah,
man,
it's just a great song.
Yeah, beautiful song, appropriate for our times, and they're crushing it, of course.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Ash cover, God's Gonna Cut You Down, that Margot Price band has been doing.
Yeah.
I really, really like that band.
They're great.
Yeah.
I love them.
They're a lot of fun. Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
Totally not related. I was going to mention like a half hour ago that your YouTube, Daniel Marino, is Spend Your Whole Life Trying. The Midnight in Harlem lyric, right? That's what that's from.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Nice.
That's
it,
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you know Midnight in Harlem and SPAC? Is that either night?
No.
Wow.
No.
Some people are probably upset about that. Maybe.
I think whenever they don't play that, people are probably, most people are probably like, "Hey, I came to hear that."
Yeah, it's still their most popular song. It's still like the one that,
Yeah.
I guess it's their most I call it their signature song, but I guess that's sort of interchangeable with popular. I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, it's funny. My buddy went to both shows, the Bethel show and the SPAC show, and he always started both evenings by going, "What do you want? What do you need to hear?" Like, not with this band. They can play the phone book. I'm good. So
right? They literally can.
I don't look for nothing.
You were just breaking up there.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something.
No, sorry. Yeah.
It's all good. No, these are cool shots of the band here. I think this is at SPAC.
Yeah. Yep.
Alicia,
yeah,
Mike,
those were cool.
Mark.
Those were cool backstage shots.
Just seems like always like a family and friends and chill vibe, and like very accessible. Like they're chill and stylish, but they're like not like, they're no frills.
Yeah.
They're unique individuals, but they're no. That's a great photo. Look at that of Gabe.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, look at that.
Piano.
Wow. I don't know what he could use as his Christmas cards or something. Kind of promotional. I'm
beautiful
sure
album cover.
Yeah, something like that. Damn.
Beautiful.
Susan. I did see. I don't know if you guys caught it. It was public, so you sent it to me, Tracy. The what was it? An Instagram story from Margot.
Yeah.
Where her and Susan and a couple other members of these bands were smoking, I guess, a giant blunt. Is that what that was?
I don't know if it was a blunt or just a giant joint.
Yeah.
I think
Either
it
way,
was just a giant
it's a
joint.
big joint. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was impressive.
And they cheered Willie's to Willie. This is for you, Willie.
Oh, we got Zac here right on time to talk about Gilford, New Hampshire. Look at that.
Cool.
Let's bring him in here.
Hey, everyone.
What's up, dude?
Hey,
How you doing?
How you doing?
You made it.
Is
What's
my mic hot?
cracking?
Is it too high? Let me know.
No, I think you're good to go.
All right, cool. How you guys doing?
Good. We covered where did we cover? We covered Philly. We covered a couple of SPACs. Great timing all around. I might as well pull up the poster for.
Well, I work in traffic now, so I'm in the right place at the right time, right? So.
Right.
I think I'm gonna punch out, Adam.
Oh, you good?
All right.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
for the
take a
invite.
picture.
Nice to meet you.
Let me picture your closet of posters.
I will.
Anything that's going on in there.
All right.
That's
Thanks,
funny.
guys.
Have a good night.
Cheers. Yeah, good stuff. I appreciate everyone coming on the East Coast time zone. Let's see if I can grab the. Well, I got you. Actually grabbed a couple of your pictures, Zach, from Facebook. I got one of the. I think where'd you get the foil here? It looks like.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Super cool. And there's you. And where is the? I was gonna pull up the non-foil, as well of New Hampshire. Charlie Wagers is the artist.
Yep. No, it's a beautiful poster. I'll wait till you pull it up, but the poster was great. I actually got number 2 of the foil run. The lady came out with my poster after going to the back, and she handed it to me. And I looked right at the bottom right corner, and it's got the number 2 insignia there. And I'm like, oh, great. I've got the best poster because it's the Deuces tour. So, the lucky number 2.
Cool.
And I was so excited about it, and she was like, oh, okay. And then I came back later, and she was like, I figured out why you were so excited, because it was the Deuces Wild Tour. And I was like, yep. I'm crazy, but, it's all right.
We all are.
Yeah. So for our audio listeners, it's like a swamp, like a zoo with like a snake, fox. There's like a tree house up there, looking out over this like view of the water.
It's a really
it's a
cool
beautiful
one.
poster. I would really recommend you go and take a look at it if you can online. I learned something about the poker chips, by the way. So there's a rhyme and a reason to the colors and the designs. So on the chips, the color variation and the design variation has to do with the number of shows performed in a row in a certain area, and whether or not it's going to be. So, for example, if it's 2 shows in a row, like for example the SPAC show, the chip is the Deuces chip. So in any case, that would be like the 2 dice, or the number 2, the red card, or the Deuces, like the 2, like the green chip. So any 2 shows in a row. And then 1 show in a row is the single chip, which is either the club, the diamond, or the heart with the other color. So those were the way that they did the color. At least after the Beacon run and after the Atlantic City, there was kind of a pattern that started coming out. I spoke to someone on the TTB team. I won't say who, but I spoke to someone on the TTB team just to keep their anonymity. But they were telling me that we've got some more colors coming along the way for this next leg of the tour. So keep a lookout for those chips. Those are really cool. You can scan them into the app now, and there's a way to add it to your profile. So
I did see that, but beyond that, they're not redeemable for front row pit tickets or something like that?
No, but there is going to be something coming up with the scannable area for the Sun, Sand, and Soul for this next coming I think it's 2025. So be on the lookout for that. They're going to do something really cool with the scannables for Sun, Sand, and Soul.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be amazing. Tell me about the venue. I think I got a picture of it.
Yeah, my first time to the venue, to be honest. So I've never been. It's a really nice place getting in. There's camping grounds overnight. You've got no balcony, just
Is this it? Do I have the right place here?
That's gonna be it. Yep. So
this is not TTB, but this is my Google picture.
But the whole thing about it is behind that, where you can't, so basically where the camera's pointing, just behind the camera, you've got a lawn up there, which is really nice. And then you've got a pavilion section that's covered. And that's going to be nice too. It was a really nice night out. Having the pavilion was really helpful because it was kind of like hot-ish, but not like to the point where it was like unbearable. But having the pavilion there was nice. It was covered. There was not too much airflow, but you had really good sound depending on who was mixing. It was actually kind of funny. The Margot Price Band mix was much louder and bassier than Bobby's mix for TTB. It was kind of interesting. I'm not sure. Maybe they each do their own individual sweeps when they do their setup for sound check or whatnot, and they don't leave the same settings, but. Yeah, it's interesting. The TTB mix was a lot more balanced, a lot cleaner, really nice. And the venue overall had a spot for food and concessions and whatnot, and then there was like a whole VIP bar section area, and some like brew house or something that was in the venue. I'd never seen that before, but they have a cover charge. That's even before you get into the restaurant and then have a meal. So, but it's nice apparently because you can sit out on this deck and you can watch the concert from a dinner table, which, you know, some people, like, what they'll do is they'll buy lawn tickets and then they'll just pay the $50 cover charge and then sit at a table and watch the show. But
Cool.
you know, I don't know, I like having a seat. I like being in the venue. And that was really nice. And then, you know, Margot Price did a great job opening. You know, their whole band is really talented. Her whole band is really talented. A lot of really good musicians. And she's such a character. She was wearing like this cowgirl uniform, and she was just kicking around the stage, dancing around the stage, trying to engage with you know, anybody that she saw in the crowd. It was really fun. There were some people standing, dancing, and then by the time TTB came on, everybody was up and having a blast. The energy in the venue was, you know, really heavy for a TTB set. I hadn't seen energy like this quite like this in a while. At some of the indoor shows, you have some difficulty with the energy with the standing and with people dancing, you know, like not being as engaged. But it was summertime. It was, you know, September 1. We were getting right at the end of the summer. It was the last show of the leg of the tour, and energy was super high. Everybody was really excited. If you pull up the set list, you know, they start off with Midnight. I mean, my gosh, you know that's going to be a good show when we start with Midnight.
So I saw them do that once, and they was like they skipped the intro to it.
Yeah,
it was
no
like
intro.
It was like a studio version, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
really
no
cool.
intro on this. It was just straight into Midnight. No Swamp Raga, no Little Martha, nothing. He just went straight in. And then, you know, band turned around right into Playing With My Emotions. Then we got a Statesboro, like a full Allman Brothers. It was great. Really, Derek was just ripping through the entire thing, was playing all these like nods to like all the old Allman Brothers stuff. It felt like I was at like the Beacon or something, you know, with like all these old things that I had heard him do in the March runs. That was awesome. And then we got I Want More, and that went into Soul Sacrifice. I don't want to skip over I Want More because there was some excellent drumming going on. There was some excellent solos between everyone.
I'm really glad they brought that back. Right.
Me too. Because Bex Bolero was a great surprise after they did that show in London. I forget. I think it was for the Jeff Beck show. The tribute, yeah. And then when he brought that back and started doing that at the end of I Want More.
Mm-hmm.
But now, you know, he's going back and forth between, is it going to be Soul Sacrifice? Is it
I love that. That's such a... Hopefully the band is on the same page with that they're doing that night.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it to where the set list says Soul Sacrifice, but Derek plays Bex. But if that ever does happen, that would be notable because he'd be pulling a surprise on the set list and on the band. So
yeah.
And then, you know, Susan introduced the next tune as Gabe's tune. She really loves plugging Gabe for writing I Am the Moon. Great tune, in my opinion. I wish that album had gotten more recognition in the music community outside of us.
I say that after every single album they release. But
this one I really mean. This one
they
I really
put out
mean.
4 of them. How could you not?
I know.
It's such an achievement. Like, how could you?
It truly is. But
there was an interview I remember listening to with Derek where he kind of described it, where he said how, you know, with like their normal writing process, there's always just some things that get cut, and it was almost like with I Am the Moon, like we were getting we were getting like the outtakes just released with the outtakes thing. So,
but I didn't. But everything is so polished. I feel like we didn't. There is no filler. We're all just like craving them to play stuff that they haven't played. Daniel's, I think, breaking up there a little bit, but.
Well, right. I mean, then they dip into Do I Look Worried, right? So that was a tune that's resurfaced. Do I Look Worried? State Trooper. Susan actually. So for this one, Susan swapped out her sign, you know, like the telly that she's got from '93, the Caribbean Mist, the one that's got all the signatures on it. She had Murph swap it out with her newly released Fender Signature Series model, so it didn't have the signatures on it like in black, but it was still the telly, and she had the capo on there, readjusted for State Trooper. So that was pretty cool to see. Like, she was still having a blast, getting a great tone out of that.
Was that a promotional? Was that a promotional thing that she's doing for the guitar?
To be honest, I don't know. I think
she played it in Saratoga too.
Yeah, here's my thought on it is that it's her way of being able to use her same feeling telly, but have them very quickly do a capo swap or a tuning swap, so that she doesn't have to have as much time in between tuning her actual, guitar. So like they're supposedly like a 1-to-1 feel, right? So if she's got that ability to, now she can have basically a copy of her guitar that she likes, her tone on, and she likes doing what she's doing, and she can swap out quickly these two guitars with the capo. Awesome. It's like it's an easy solution.
Hand me my signature model at once.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. And I'm surprised Derek hasn't gone back to his signature model in a while, but he's been sticking with the From One Brother to Another SG that was put out a while ago, which was the replica of the Dwayne Allman SG that was gifted to him by Dickie. So it's like a replica of a 61 SG. It's pretty cool. But so I don't know why he hasn't gone back to that in a while, but I think he likes the feeling of that one because it's like a lighter wood. Anyway, so State Trooper, Susan used her Fender, her signature Fender. Then we got Bound for Glory. So I always love it when we get Midnight and Bound for Glory in a set together. Makes for a great show. Then Susan called out her guitar teacher, who was in the audience when she introduced Just Won't Burn. So that was a really nice nod. She had a lot of friends in the audience. I'm learning that the Gilford show is mostly a lot of like friends, family that come to the show in the audience. So nice to see that shout out. Then they did the Sonny Boy Williamson Slow Down, Bring It On Home into the Led Zeppelin version. It was really killer just seeing everybody being like, whoa, we're getting Zeppelin. Which they've been doing throughout this tour. They've been doing.
But not everyone knows that. Like me and you.
Right.
Me and you know it's probably coming, but not everyone there does. But a lot of them know Led Zeppelin, and to hear such a powerhouse, it's not really a song that I feel like even gets covered that much. At least not in the Led Zeppelin style. I feel like I don't hear a lot of bands doing "Bring It On Home." Like, it's such a cool rockin' tune,
For sure, yeah. It's definitely one that is a deep cut. It's certainly not one that you'll hear on like, mainstream radio or anything like that.
More on the East Coast. I remember, maybe because I'm older now, but 2020 in the 90s or late 90s, early 2000s, it did get play in classic rock and rock radio, but not as much as Whole Lotta Love.
No, exactly. That's what I mean. Like Whole Lotta Love, like basically like top 40s it'll be in there, but like this was certainly like in the mix, but hasn't been for a while, so it was like very neat to hear that. And they did that in addition to State Trooper, so both of those were Deuce's songs that were pulled for this tour, and because this was a one night only show, I'm assuming they just wanted to pull out all the stops and just kind of give us everything. So after Bring It On Home, we had Part of Me. No introduction, no little tease. Sometimes he likes to do, the Right on the Road, like the little tease to the new I Am the Moon tune.
Can't Feel You Smiling?
Yeah, I can feel you smiling. Yeah, so he likes to tease that. We didn't get that this time. We just got the straight Part of Me. And then after that, Gilded Splinters is always a killer tune. Just some freaking killer like riffs by Derek, really ripping in there. That headroom on the Super Reverb was just like blowing nice. I think actually he was using the Alessandro and the reverb as a backup, but it's got the same configuration, basically same specs. But
the roof at that venue looked low in the picture. Did you feel like there was a low roof and that made the sound reverberate more or be a certain way because of
here's the thing, the stage is I was
gonna say, or even contribute to like the party aspect of the show, because something about having a low ceiling, it's almost like you guys are all like packed into a big basement in some ways, out if that makes any sense.
No, it's more like the lawn is actually why the whole way the stage is configured, it's a super tall stage. So they're basically like looking down almost, I think, like 16 feet or something like that. I forget what the guy said. I think he said something like 16 feet. And it's like it's a really tall stage. So they're trying to play out to the lawn, and then they have to use these really tall speakers, these tall rigs hanging out to project down to us in the pavilion. And then there's these delays that are outside the pavilion. There's these speakers that are on a delay, so that when it links up to the lawn, there's no like weird choppiness or delay. I don't know like why the roof felt small, but I understand what you're saying, but I think it was more like I think it's the way that the stage was framed made it feel a little bit more intimate. Not so much having to do with, I mean, if you pull up the photo again, but it's like, yeah, I think it's like a false perspective because there's like a drop in the floor a little bit.
Yeah. In there, it just looks like it's a party, probably.
Oh yeah. The whole place was standing. Everybody was.
And like
everybody
I
was on
imagine
their
it like
feet.
being loud or something, and like.
Oh, it was. For Margot Price's said it was loud, but for Tedeschi Trucks Band, it was really well mixed. Like the sound was nicely balanced. Even though I was right in front of the speaker, like the hanging rig, I did not feel as much of like the waves of bass that I was getting with the Margot Price set, which was actually kind of off-putting because it was almost like you could feel the wind, so it was too bassy.
Is this what the weather looked like when you were there?
Yeah, pretty much.
It looks beautiful. They got a lot of trees up there in New Hampshire, from what I gather.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, we were also able to do it in a day trip, so we drove up the same day as we drove down after the show. Weather was pretty good. Traffic was good. So, yeah. And then,
Cool.
Let's see. So, Gilded Splinters, as I said, Derek was killer. Then we had Let Me Get By. Again, always a great tune. I always like this one because it just reminds me of like where we were at that time, where I was in my life and everything. And I always like thinking about like the call to like the Allman Brothers, like even the sky is crying, right? Like all this, it gives me like nodes of like nostalgia, and I love it when they play Let Me Get By.
And it's something they are able to keep fresh too, and it's always no two versions of that song are exactly the same. Whether it's the tempo, whether it's who gets a solo, whether it's how Derek will do a particular solo if he's taking it,
Yeah,
the outro
for sure.
solo. I'm thinking of
For sure. Cool. And then Stranger in a Strange Land before the encore. So actually, this was the set closer. They brought out Margot Price and the Margot Price Band, and they did Stranger in a Strange Land. And there was some really nice exchanges. I think maybe it was either this song or it was the slide medley. I can't remember. I think it was the slide medley. I'll get into it later. But Stranger in a Strange Land, of course, the Leon Russell tune, absolutely fantastic. Everybody seemed to be having a really good time. Susan was saying something about, thanking the band for coming on this long journey with them over the summer, and it was a great time. Then they went off stage, came back out after the encore break, and they did Color of the Blues with Margot Price, just Margot Price. Then everybody came back out, and they did the Sly medley to close with the whole band. And you kind of had each little section doubling up. So Gabe and his respective band member in the Margot Price band, they went back and forth and exchanged piano, keyboard, organ solos. Then you had Derek exchange solos with the Margot Price band guitarist. You then had Brandon Boone exchange bass solos with Margot Price band bassist and yada yada and so on. And it was a fantastic, excellent exchange. Everybody was just having a party. And I'll say the three singers from TTB, so that would be Mark, Alicia, and Mike, they actually showed up for one song during the Margot Price band set. I don't know the name of the song, but it was really neat seeing them do that.
Where's the god dig? We got to dig that up on YouTube after the
that's out
show.
there.
Someone must have that. Was this their last show? I mean, this is TTB's last show for the couple of weeks, whatever. Is this their last show of the year with Margot Price? Are they more shows with her and her band?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Because I just feel like I'm getting the vibe. This is like the end of the school year, the end of the tour. Like, let's get Margot and her band up on stage one more time before the encore. And thinking of the band must specifically play certain like last runs of shows with cities in mind that are like maybe some of the home that's something that I think that like they want to have a certain feeling in a certain city at the last show of a certain, I guess, leg of a tour. Like they like even thinking about their like, would they have like a St. Augustine show, which had earlier out near not too far from Jacksonville, that had like the family and friends vibe, and you're speaking to the family and friends vibe in New England, here, and the last day of the school year, whatever kind of thing with
was this venue close to Boston? Because I thought this where Susan Tedeschi was from.
Yeah, Susan Tedeschi's from Norwell. So this was New Hampshire, Gilford. So it was about a 2-hour drive for us from Natick.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, people come up, but
people definitely travel. Every person I come on this podcast, people are like, I just got back. I drove 4 hours to see blah 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 blah. So it's like if you're related to Susan or if you grew up seeing her, what is 2 hours?
That's considered a hometown show for sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's on my list. I would like to make it up to Boston for a show. Like I'd like to make it to St. Augustine or Jacksonville for a show too. It's fun to kind of do those ones.
And actually, I just checked the schedule. Yes, that was the last show with openers. So the next leg of the tour is going to be Evening With.
Boy.
That's 2 TTB sets. So that's going to start in Nashville and make its way through New York, because Nashville is the bourbon, right? The Bourbon Fest.
Yep.
Or is that's Kentucky?
I think that's Kentucky. It must be
right. So then after that, September 21st in Nashville.
Does it say Evening With, or is it just not? It might not be just. They could add.
There's no opener. There's no opener. So on that schedule, remember where it had like the little carrot and the little plus sign?
There's no.
Yep. So there's no indication there. So it's going to be a two set and an encore.
Yeah.
So that's going to be New York, Brooklyn, Boston for the 3 nights, Rhode Island, right, and then Port.
I got actual tickets for Providence. They mailed me tickets.
Oh wow, that's.
I'm gonna have a ticket stub. I can't believe it.
I got a ticket stub for this show at New Hampshire. I was shocked. I was like, "Oh my god, I haven't seen a paper ticket in forever."
Someone
loved paper tickets.
The SPAC, whoever's set list picture I stole had there.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Tickets. What are those?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I remember.
Speaking of SPAC, Adam, before I forget, Derek sat in with Little Feet on the second night. Dixie Chicken and. I just lost the name of the other song. Really good. Definitely check that out on YouTube. I hope somebody captured it. It was pretty good.
Neat.
He sat in, I think, one of the 3 shows that I went to in Southern California. He popped out for a song with Little Feet, certainly.
Yeah.
Because I remember being like, "Hey, Derek Trucks is up there right now. Everyone, hurry up!"
No one's watching.
It's here.
Oh my
California.
God.
People too little too. They don't. There's too much sun.
That's it.
We'll go with that.
The sun.
Good stuff. What else? What else you got? What were you gonna say, Daniel?
I was saying it's good to know if it's going to be an Evening With this last part of the tour. I think after this conversation, I'm gonna have to go to that Capitol Theater show.
Oh yeah,
I bought the ticket. Yeah, it's just hard. It's hard because it's a weeknight, but I bought the ticket impulsively when they released it, and and I was like, I'll figure it out later. But like now, especially if it's gonna be an Evening With TTB,
that's top 5, top 6 menu.
Yeah,
we figured it. The consensus. We figured it out. What would we say? Beacon, Red Rocks, Ryman, Warner, and Cap, and you can throw Sun Soul Sand in there as a whole experience as well. Just from this is from my conversations with all of you guys. What I've deduced is the top 5 or 6 destinations or places or venues for TTB is like those 6 right there, and the Warner.
The Cap is a lot of fun. I mean, I saw one show there. It's one of my favorites I've seen from them, and it's just cool because it's GA, So like you have not a it's.
Yeah, no, I don't know. We're losing you, but I know what you're saying. How awesome the Cap is there.
But
we were still go on.
Yeah, Boston is actually going to be new, I think, for them this year because MGM at Fenway is a fairly new venue.
Yep.
And I don't think they've played there before. And then they're going to play the 2 nights at the Botch, the Wang Center. I don't know if they've played there before, but again, I remember distinctly they've pretty much played at the House of Blues and at the Orpheum, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah. That's how I remember.
Yeah, I think this will be a new set of venues for them. I'm pretty excited to see what they're going to bring to the Boston area.
Pretty sure it's another old theater, the Wang.
I've been to the Wang before. I'm excited to see them rock the freaking place. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Good I'm excited for that run. That's gonna be a fun run.
And I'm excited to get my chips cashed in. For some new colors. I'm excited. So I don't know about you guys, but I've been collecting my chips. I've been trying to build out my collection. Because I
gotta get some in the mail this week.
There's a few up there. You can't see them; they're flat, but they're up there. I got a few.
Yeah, those Red Rocks chips are like Honus Wagner cards. They're like super rare. You know what I mean?
What color are those?
Those were the orange ones. Those were the orange ones. They were only handed out those 2 nights, and I think what was it, like 3,500 or something total for both nights across both nights. So. That's not a lot of chips.
No, I got one on the way because a friend of mine that was there wants one of the Deuces Wild light blue ones.
Yeah,
we're swapping those. I'm pretty excited.
It's all a social experiment. The band is listening to watching this, being like, "Let's see what can we get them to do. Let's see if we can get them to be excited about plastic." Let's see.
Well, I didn't keep my chip from Atlantic City because at the time I had no idea what it was for.
Yeah.
So I lost it.
Oh no! That would make me. That would be upset.
Well,
I'm a little bit upset. It's all right.
I learned some cool inside information about the designs of the chip too. So that's actually all done by Bradley Strickland, their photography guy. He is drawing up these designs, and he then does them on his computer. He shrinks them down to icon size, and then they print them out. And they were having some difficulty with figuring out the colors because the scanning, it wasn't picking up the chip correctly. They actually had one in the works to do one of Derek's guitar, one of Susan's guitar, and they wanted to do the one of Susan's guitar in the Caribbean Mist color, but the app was not able to recognize the chip, and so they had to pass on it. But Bradley's been pumping out those designs and has been doing a great job. They look awesome.
That's amazing.
I'm really happy.
That's amazing. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's all a family operation. Like they're literally keeping everything in house. Nothing is contracted out. They kind of run their whole operation. These boxes that they have, they weigh like a ton. By the way, I was talking again to some of the crew. These boxes, they weigh so much with the chips. It's like one little thing. It's a little heavy. All of them is really heavy.
Yeah, I get that sense too, like just from afar and just from being a fan and even yourselves going to a bunch of shows, that there's good amount of synergy going on from Susan to Derek to the rest of the band to the crew to their team, and beyond, and the creatives that they work with, be it Bradley, who's on part of the crew doing designs for the band, or the poster artists too, like. There's a lot of they're on the same page with what the band is all about, but also like they bring their own individuality to the posters themselves, and that's something that the band like always is encouraging, like of each other to be, is like, oh, to be yourself. They're in a band and they have parts and all that, but like to be yourself, like that's something that even I think Gabe talked about when I had the chance to speak to him. He spoke to like, be you, even like to anytime, like when they're in the studio, when Kebby was talking about meeting Derek. Oh, what do you want me to play? Play what you play. Do what you do. There's such an element of that, but at the same time, there's a human connection that exists between these people, and that shines through in the creative process itself.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how excited Derek is about his ass pocket whiskey. He loves that because
that name is hilarious.
It's his idea. It's his thing. It's his name. He wants that. I mean, I get it. He wants everybody.
How do I get it out? How do I get it in L.A. Southern? Where do I got to go to get that? Anyone listening is telling me where.
It's not out yet. It's going to be released after the festival. So you go online to his website, and I think you can find a link in the app, or if you search it in the Relics article. It'll tell you, and then you can put your name on the email list, and you can start to order it. You can ship it to your house.
I put it. I'm on their list. I'll pay attention to that. I'll do an episode. Tell them to send me a bottle. I'll do a taste test on the air and all that.
Yeah. I'll come join you. That'll be great.
I'm working on that. We'll see.
Somebody's got to get some ass pocket whiskey into a TTB show.
I'm gonna message every public contact that brand has and try to. I would really love to have someone from who's working with the product and who loves TTB to talk about that. I think I'm working on getting some people lined up for that. What do you call it? The intimate show that I guess Derek is doing.
Oh yeah, Derek's doing that. He's gonna introduce the whiskey.
It's I don't know if it's part of the festival or
it's before the festival. Like it's like a separate entity, but it's like a private barn secret show.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get all the people who were part of the secret to come on the podcast and tell me about it because that's definitely what do you call it? Fear of missing out.
I have FOMO. Yeah, I'm not gonna be there.
From that, for sure. Like a Derek, because like he probably won't, and not that this matters, but just it gives you a sense of how intimate it is. Like he might talk, he might say something. He kind of has to. Like,
he will. Yeah, for sure.
In that setting, and it'll be great and amazing, I'm sure, because obviously we see these great interviews and.
I mean, if you've heard and about Derek's love of whiskey and bourbon, I have a feeling he's going to talk his brain off about all this stuff. He loves this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the best thing because like even with TTB with like he's promoting something I'm thinking he's enjoys, like he doesn't make it more fun and easy to. No, that's going to be awesome for everyone
he wouldn't put his back. He wouldn't back something unless he actually like.
Yeah,
it was like in his what he wanted to do in his vision. So
pocket is like a phrase. It's like
it's a term. It's a known term. Yeah.
Right.
For like a 200 ml bottle that fits literally in your ass pocket. That's what it is. That's the whole
deal. Right. But it's a bold choice for a brand, I think, and that's good.
Yeah. I mean, APW. It's pretty memorable. I kind of like it. it.
It got attention when they posted it. I feel like it got people talking and interested.
Yeah, I mean, Derek has certainly made me into someone who's more interested in learning about bourbon and whiskey and trying different things because it was not something I ever used to dip into. But then I was like, oh, okay, so like there's different notes, there's different flavors, there's this, that, the other thing, and there's a whole other group of people like us about TTB, but for whiskey and bourbon, there's a whole clan of people that love that stuff. So
I enjoy listening to people to sometimes talk about something I'm not really knowledgeable or don't know anything about, but they're passionate. Something about that I just find like invigorating and energizing, even if I don't even have a clue what they're talking about or even care that much. Just like when somebody's passionate about something, that's cool to be around. I don't want to learn anything. I just want to try the whiskey and drink it.
But
don't teach me anything.
But what's nice about it though too is that he wants with this whole thing to be able to like give everybody the high quality expensive liquor without having people feeling like they're having to spend a huge amount.
Right. I like that branding and the name and with that approach. Like I did read that and saw that. Yeah. Like I'm like, yeah.
It's like as much as I want to collect, like I actually am not going to try to collect these bottles because that's not the point of them is to collect. It's to drink it. This whiskey is to drink. So
I'll keep one.
Obviously
one bottle. One bottle for sure.
Obviously, you buy your drinking bottle and then you buy your collector bottle and then you don't care about paying the shipping. It doesn't matter. But
we should also talk about. Before I let you guys go, if any of you guys, I know it's late. I'm rambling all this, but like Kofi Day of Service is coming up. That's in September 20. Was it the 22nd? Well, it's over that weekend.
21st and 22nd.
Right. Super cool. Definitely Google that, YouTube that, or look that up. I think pretty much we might be fairly full of like I think the response for like volunteer needs has been pretty.
I think there's waiting. I'm going to Boston.
Okay, so I was gonna say if you're going to the Boston group, I will be leading the Boston group this year. So I was in touch with Renee. She reached out to me. I'll be leading the Boston group, and there will be groups all over the country doing all this work. So, Tracy, I will see you in Boston.
I'll see you there at 10 a.m.
Yep.
I think I'm helping out with LA, so that'll be fun to connect with some people, probably familiar faces and new faces. Yeah, there's a handful of people I've spoke to on this show that are like helping out with that and then leading and maybe even have introduced some. Definitely have introduced. I know Randy, who's been on the podcast, is helping out on Long Island. That's a cool one.
Yeah, that's awesome. We were able to just open that up because I think it was on this podcast. Someone mentioned that they wanted a Long Island segment, and then it somehow came through the grapevine. Renee was talking to me. She was like, "Do you think I should open one Long Island? Like, is that a good idea?" And we did it, open it up, and there you go. And now Long Island is a location for COVID.
I think it seems I'm giving people more work, but I think it seems like more cities, more people doing more stuff.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea. Because the trip into New York City, it's difficult if people out on the island want to be able to do this and take off for work or something, or be able to hang out. And that Port Jefferson location right there, smack in the middle of everything. It's perfect.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, all 50 states next year.
Let's do it. Let's get it going.
That's what else should we cover or talk about? I don't know if you had anything to say about the Sly medley. Did we talk about the second Sly medley, Zach? I don't know. I was just covering my bases. I know you like.
Yeah, no, I got the Sly medley in there. We talked about that, I talked about the exchanges of the solos between each of the band members.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really fun. It was really fun in Philly when they did it too. Little feet.
Yeah, I mean that tune has been gone for a while. And I was
back with a vengeance.
Thrilled to see that again. I was thrilled to see that again.
You know what I was asked them? Maybe Zach, you would know. Just I was curious about like what are like encore songs that were like in heavy encore rotations for TTB over the years.
Oh, Show Me was one.
Well, I was gonna ask that they kind of haven't played in a long time, other than with a little help from my friends, they have used. But other than that, like they kind of have kept playing all their encores, or encores have found their way into the middle of sets at this point.
Right. Like,
but I have to do a deeper.
Yeah, you know what? We'll connect offline. We'll do a deep dive on that or something. And
yeah, I wish I knew. That one?
Well, no, that's relatively new again. That's come back more recently.
They're still playing that.
But you know what I really want is Uptight. That hasn't come back in a long time.
Uptight.
The stuff, the stuff off Everybody's Talking. That stuff is really fantastic.
Uptight. The drums are similar. As I say, Uptight. The drums are kind of similar to.
I get confused every time. Every time I get confused, I'm like, Uptight? No, it's I Want More.
I was gonna ask also what the Meet Me. What you've heard the Meet Me in the Morning.
The Meet Me in the Morning.
That's TTB. The covered. I think it's
Dylan.
on. At SPAC.
Okay. Yeah.
At SPAC. That sounds like the beginning of that to me sounded like a TTB song with a Mike lead vocals.
Oh.
Don't Miss Me. Is that the song?
I don't know, to be honest. So I don't want to misspeak.
Yeah, I forget. I
would tell you if I knew. I don't want to misspeak.
Yeah.
But,
I can hear it in my head, but I don't know what the title is. I'll look it up later.
Yeah, no, it's gonna come to me in a sec.
Yeah, good stuff, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else you should mention, cover, talk about? I just feel like I could talk about this band all day, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to mention that blah 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 blah. So because it's almost like when I'm recapping a TTB show, I want to make sure to cover all of my bases in a way that like Derek creates the set list. It's like, oh, I got to make sure that Alicia and Elizabeth and Kevy and the drummers get their time. So it's like when I'm talking about the podcast, it's like, oh, I better make sure I talked about drummers or give the drummer some, and better give the rhythm section their love or whatever the case may be. But
on the horns, it was the guy who was in Marcus King band was covering again. Was covering it again.
Justin Johnson.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. I wanted to say a JJ name and I didn't have the name on the tip of my tongue. So thank you.
They've had a few of those in the band.
Yeah. They've had a few JJs.
Sounds good. He sounds good. I mean,
For sure.
I can hear how it's different. Like my ear is that sensitive. Like I can't maybe articulate it exactly, but I'm like, oh, that sounds like a little bit different, but it's cool.
Yeah.
And
by the way, Kebby really went off on one of his sax solos during the evening. I forget which tune it was. Can you pull up the set list again? Maybe it'll remind me. He really went off, and like Derek was trying to like rope him back in, almost like pull him back. And they kind of just at one point towards the end, they were just like, we're gonna start like playing the melody again, and maybe he'll just kind of fade out.
How do you know that Derek's trying to rope him back in by gesturing?
Because I could tell by his body language, he kept looking back at Kebby, looking at the band, going like that, and was like trying to like start up again with starting to get up like the back, like where he kind of just like vamps on a single chord there. I think it was on
He was certainly reacting to Kebby going off.
Yeah, I think it was on Bound for Glory. Where does he do a sax solo on Bound for Glory? Or maybe it was part of me.
Part of me.
Oh, it was
probably part of me.
Part of me. Yeah, so he was going off like really, really crazy into a crazy world, and then they kind of like roped it back.
Because I remember when they first started adding in the sax to that song, I think, like somewhat recently in the last couple of years, it started out like when the song is kind of like at a slower, like, and it would be like a really slow groove and builds up. So you're probably talking about when he builds up and he's going.
Yeah.
When it revs back up, like towards the second part out.
Yes, exactly. That's it. And he was like bouncing all along the stage, the whole thing that he does. It's great. It was a blast, man. It was a blast. The show was just absolutely excellent.
He reminds me a little bit of like, or maybe the other way around. Maybe it's a sax player thing. I do picture
Coltrane?
like. I was gonna say Lisa Simpson.
Oh yeah.
Just like picturing her and Bleeding Gums Murphy, like her, just like even in the intro, like when she's just in her own world, spinning out of the school or whatever, like totally giving herself to the music, like, or like Snoopy, on the like dancing to me, or on the piano, on Schroeder's piano, or me listening to TTV. It's like the music controls you.
Yeah.
Carries
Sorry,
you.
go ahead, Tracy, Daniel. You guys got anything?
No, it's just.
They're like, I want to fucking get out of here.
No. I'm looking at the set list and I'm just thinking about all the shows, how incredible it was to hear in those few shows I went to, pretty much everything I wanted to, and then some, and then those surprises. And how no matter how many times we go see this band,
Didn't you post it? You saw like 12 shows this year, something.
No, I didn't see that many shows. I waited till like the last few weeks to go to most of them, but no, I didn't see that many. I have 3 more coming. And I just did 3, and I did 1 Beacon show.
Cool. Yeah, can't get enough of this band. They just
for sure.
It's so much fun. So much fun. And and like they do a really good job. Adam, I know we've talked about it before. Because I kind of come from the Grateful Dead side of things, and just a lot of jam bands in general. It's like it's really cool how they do the jam band thing, but not really. It's like it's kind of like that is a part of what they do. It's a part of their style. Now, obviously, they come from the Allman Brothers kind of side of things, but there's just so much to them. They have so many facets and so much. I'm a huge Mike Madison fan. I think we were talking a little bit about that earlier. How it's like. They're a band that's full of people where I feel like any one of them, can and should and have been or currently are like, the headliner, like frontman of their own act.
Yeah.
But they're just all on their stage together. It's like it's called Tedeschi Trucks Band, but there's just so much, and Derek and Susan, of course, are the, heart and the kind of the center of things. But at the same time, it's like, they're like expansive, and the more that you see them, the more that you learn about them. It just seems like the more there is to get into, and it's much fun. So much fun.
And I feel like every one of them is highlighted more and more now too, which is great.
They do a good job. Yeah, for sure. I always say it's like Mike Madison is like usually my favorite parts of shows. You know, like I love a show where we get like 4, you know, Mike lead, you know, songs with Mike leading. But it's a lot of fun. I really am hoping that he does more solo shows. I was hoping that for Sun, Sand, and Soul, for this next one coming up, that we would get like a Mike Madison solo set, because his solo albums are so good.
Scrap-o-matic,
too.
yeah,
or Scrap-o-matic, yeah, that'd be great.
Is the lineup for Sun, Sand, Soul set?
Yeah, they announced it.
I mean, they could add something else to. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm
There's
still
a
hopeful. Maybe we'll get
what's her name?
Small
secret
stage
Mike set. Yeah.
What's her name?
Secret
Grace
set, small
Grace Bauer.
stage.
Grace Bowers, yeah.
Yeah,
Bonnie Raitt.
she's chill, by the way. She's really a good musician.
Fantastic.
Grace Bowers, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
the
And Bonnie
final
Raitt
night,
too.
The final night is gonna be awesome, you know, because they got Daniel Donato open up, who's kind of like a relatively new, you know, feature of the jam band scene. Really good guitarist. And then the Wood Brothers, I've become a big Wood Brothers fan through TTB, you know, because they cover their side. I was at a show in 2021 when they played Smoke Ring Halo, and she said, "Yeah, this is our favorite band." The Wood Brothers.
Didn't they write a song on "I Am the Moon" with him? With one of them?
I think so. Yeah. And I
they go way back with Oliver.
Yeah. He has a lot of song. He has a lot of songwriting credits with them. Yeah. But it's gonna be great. It was great last year or earlier this year. It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah, so you're going back again. I'm FOMO again. I can't go. I work in radio, so I can't take vacations like that.
I got you know, it wasn't just the music and everything too, but just the venue and the company that runs the place, Topeka.
Yeah, I heard great things.
Yeah,
about
they're awesome. Everyone spoke so highly of them, and Daniel included. Losing him there a little bit. He'll come back. I kind of got the flow of it, but if not, I figure maybe that's a sign that we should wrap things up. Thank you.
Yeah,
so
I think
much,
I got a
guys.
jet.
I appreciate it. I got most of that.
Man,
you like the Topeka people, and as do all the other TTB fans. But thank you, Zach, Tracy, Daniel.
Thanks for having me, Adam. Yep.
Thank you.
You got it, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a great night, guys. Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Have a good night.
So there you go. What was that? Episode 170. Recapping TTB's shows at Philly, SPAC 2 times, and Gilford, New Hampshire, with Daniel, Tracy, Zach, Sean. Did I miss anyone? I think I got them all, but good stuff all around. This band is on fire, I must say, as always. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. Please check out @Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram. Subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. I'll definitely get an audio version of this out soon. I'm at Adam Choit Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me. AdamChoit.com for all my other stuff. TedeschiTrucksPodcast.com for everything related to the show. TedeschiTrucksBand.com for everything related to them. Their official site. Buy tickets to shows, merch. Download the Swamp Family app. For sure as well. That's always a great idea if you're not already on there. So much cool stuff and fan engagement, all kinds of great things going on there. My Patreon, it's new. Definitely please check that out. I appreciate all support. Patreon.com /TTB podcast. Support me, support the show. A portion of your contribution at a couple of those tiers is actually donated to the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation under the Kofi Burbridge Music Matters Fund banner to support music education in schools and get instruments in the hands of kids who need them. So it's a win-win for everyone. It's a win-win-win. I think it's 3 wins. Like I think that's several in there, but please check that out. Patreon.com /TTB podcast. But I think that's about all I got for today. Thank you to the band, the fans, crew, podcast guests, supporters. I think that's pretty much it. Thanks again, and let's talk soon. Peace.